What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for a new Madden 23 rebuild from the fallout of the 2023 NFL Draft. And one of the top requested teams, according to you guys, it makes me very curious and interesting to rebuild. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I couldn't say my Philadelphia Eagles had the best draft class, I would put the Steelers would be in my S tier. I thought they did an outstanding job. So that's why we're going to be rebuilding. And I'll be honest right now, they're kind of on the outside looking in, but they are on my short list of my Madden 24 teams to utilize. Because, I mean, they got a lot of things. Kenny Pickett's probably not going to be an amazing quarterback in Madden. I don't know if he ever will be. But we have him here now as a 75 overall quarterback. 86 throw power is definitely an issue. But, I mean, I like Kenny Pickett. I think he's shown a lot of flashes last year that he has the tools and capabilities to develop into a franchise QB, but it's definitely not a for sure thing. You're definitely not getting a quarterback that has superstar dev trait, superstar X factor yet. Hopefully in this rebuild, we can achieve that for Kenny Pickett. You got Najee Harris here, 88 superstar running back. I mean, an absolute baller, good mix of athleticism and power. The wide receiver room. So because, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we did a rebuild not too long ago. What if the Commanders traded for Andrew Luck? That rebuild got ruined because Madden just crashed it and couldn't reload it. So now I'm exclusively doing offline franchises. And when you do offline franchises, you can't use like the start today. I can't start the season week 17 or like at the Super Bowl or whatever. So I basically have to take the team over and just, I literally, force the wins, force the losses to get the right record. Things happened. And because we're simming the actual season, Deontay Johnson, still definitely a solid player, 84 star, but originally he was a superstar. However, after simming that year, George Pickens went from star up to a superstar. So the way that I see it, we're going to keep it as is. We still have our one superstar wide receiver, and it's the player that I think should have the dev trait anyways, George Pickens. I was a George Pickens stan. He was my wide receiver too in last year's draft class, which was a hot take. But, I believed in a player that was a 5-star player, struggled to stay on the field at Georgia, but when he was there, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I think he is absolutely a bona fide potential wide receiver one. They also made the trade to get Allen Robinson over from the Rams, which is a nice veteran to that room. Calvin Austin, a really, really nice utility piece. Again, we'll continue the preview here, and then we'll get to my thoughts about Madden 24. Frymouth, awesome tight end. They got Darnell Washington somehow, who we have him here. He's 77 hidden dev trait from Bengals draft class. We're going to try to find ways to get him utilized. I don't really know how much 2 tight end sets will be a part of just base Pittsburgh Steelers, but we will have Washington kind of lining up as one of our death wide receivers and stuff like that to see if he can get on the field. They drafted Broderick Jones, the tackle out of Georgia, in the first round. Thought that was an awesome pick. He was my 3rd overall tackle in the draft class. Definitely a legitimate first rounder. He has a hidden dev trait, franchise tackle traits. We got Dotson. We got James Daniels. I kicked him into center because they brought Isaac Seumalo over from the Philadelphia Eagles at guard, and James Daniels played center at Iowa. So I figured it just made the most sense to kind of mix and match and get our best offensive line that we had a core for there at right tackle. Definitely need to find a better upgrade at right tackle. Defensively, we got Ogunjobi and Cam Hayward, the legend, on the defensive line. He's an X factor. At D tackle, we're actually going to go with Keanu Benton as our starter this year, the rookie out of Wisconsin. I thought that was another great draft pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good value as well. I believe they got him, was he the 2nd round or 3rd round? Either way, I mean, he's one of it was a draft class that had a lot of 3 techniques, a lot of undersized defensive tackles, and he's one of the few legitimate ones that can play multiple positions on the defensive line. So I think he's going to be a nice piece. We got TJ Watt here. Now, he lost his X factor. I don't think it's necessarily fair for me to sim through, have him lose the X factor through the sim, and I think it's worth saying that he is an X factor talent right now. If he loses it again, obviously we're not going to give it back to him. But I think as it stands, I don't want to punish myself with that. It's a little bit different, whereas Johnson was a superstar and George Pickens was a star. They just kind of flipped them. That's kind of fine. You're not really gaining a whole lot there. But, we can't have TJ Watt losing that X factor. They got Herbig in the draft, which I think there's some nice value there. We're actually going to have him play at middle linebacker. No one really knows what his true position is. Obviously, was utilized a little bit more as a pass rusher at Wisconsin. But you look at a lot of the scouting reports on Nick Herbig. Some people think he could potentially, just just play off-ball linebacker with some blitzing capabilities. And I just think, look at the landscape of our roster. They did bring over Cole Holcomb from the Commanders. We don't have a lot of depth there at middle linebackers. I think we're going to utilize Herbig there, at least just for this season, to get him on the field and kind of see where his development goes. You have Highsmith, who had a little bit of a breakout last year. Unfortunately, did not in the sim, so I wasn't going to give him a dev trade like that, so he's stuck on a star dev, but 85 overall is a really nice rating. In the secondary, we got Pat Pete, Levi Wallace, Witherspoon, and Joey Porter Jr. Following the footsteps of his old man. We're going to let him start 75 overall. Does only have a normal dev trade, kind of surprising. Maybe some people would assume, and maybe, hell, even a Madden 24, he will get a at least star dev, but he's starting on the normal dev, but I'm going to have him start on the outside. I think we're going to go probably him and Pat Pete on the outside with Wallace in the slot. We got Minkah Fitzpatrick at safety, and at strong safety, we got Keanu Neal coming over, kind of a like-for-like replacement from Terrell Edmonds, who's went on to my Philadelphia Eagles. Boswell and Harvin there. So that is our roster. Pretty good looking roster, to be honest with you. And that's ultimately like one of the reasons why I don't know if I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to be my Madden 24 team. If you're in the comments and you're a Steelers fan, you'd love to see it, let me know. My knock against them is that you still have really good players. Like, you still, like, if you know, I like looking at a team and being like, okay, we got a handful of guys that I think are going to be core players. Got a handful of guys that are probably not the best rating that are going to be fun in Madden. So we got Kenny Pickett. I think that's an interesting Madden quarterback. I think George Pickens would be awesome. I think Calvin Austin fits that role of a low-rated player, but a very, very fun skill set that would be exciting to use. Darnell Washington is going to be a fun player, whatever his rating comes in at. I think on the defensive side, you know, you got your users. Right? I'd be able to use your TJ Watt more often than not. And then, you know, you can retool the secondary and kind of build around Minkah Fitzpatrick. But I think it's the fact that the players that are really, really good, the cornerstones, might be a little overpowered. Like TJ Watt, Minkah, Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth. Like those are I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they're just too good. I could be persuaded. Plus, it's the whole thing. Like, they've already won a bunch of Super Bowls. This is the down period. It's like when people say C4, you should rebuild the New England Patriots. It's like, you know, the teams that, like, since I've been a football fan that have been perennial playoff contenders and Super Bowl contenders pretty much every season, I don't know if there's necessarily legs on that series and believability in trying to, like, go through the grind and get them back. Because when we win a Super Bowl at the Steelers, like, oh, congrats. It's our, whatever, their 7th Super Bowl. So we're going to have fun here today. We're going to go through this 5-year rebuild. And I will just, you know, in closing, they're in consideration for our Madden 24 franchise. So we're the midway point of view number 1. Coming off a nice Week 9 victory, 42 shootout against the Baltimore Ravens, keeping us right in a very competitive AFC North. And Kenny Pickett got weekly award winner, 5 touchdowns, didn't have a pick, but 353 yards, 5, and we've been putting up some points. Like, I would guess that Kenny Pickett has put up a couple other big-time games this season, which he needs to do because we got to get him off that normal dev trade. Like, that's one of our biggest priorities. So right now we're rocking with a top 10 offense, almost top 10 defense, even though our rushing defense is pretty goddamn awful. Let's take a look at some contracts here at the midway point. $67 million of cap. First up, we have Alex Highsmith. Definitely want to keep him in the building. Get him locked in on a 5-year deal. Levi Wallace, probably replaceable. Kevin Dotson, also probably replaceable. That's just like a super reasonable contract if we can get him across the line for a dev trait lineman. And linemen rarely lose dev traits. So I think it's probably going to be in our best interest to give him a little bit more money, probably $12 million to get him signed. I'll probably get it 3 years as well, keep him till he's 29. At the end of our first full season, number 11 offense, number 14 defense. Okay. You know, if that's our starting point as an 85 overall team, I mean, we're pretty good overall, but I feel like that's like a fake overall. That's not our actual overall. We're probably, you know, closer to an 80-80 than we would be an 85-85. I mean, that's what Madden's given us here. Take a look at the stats. Najee Harris, second leading rusher in the NFL. Kenny Pickett, a spot-on top 10 quarterback, which, I mean, those interceptions are a little bit high, but I'm going to say it's probably 50-50. We'll get that dev tray. I think it's for normal to get a star dev, got to be within the top 10, and then from, like, to whatever, get superstar off of that, you need to be top 5. At least that's how it was a couple Maddens ago. So I'm optimistic we'll get something there with Kenny Pickett. If not, I mean, again, it's not the end of the world. He doesn't have to have a dev trade. That's a solid season. Cuts down on those picks. We can win a Super Bowl with that. But it would be cool to see his development kind of skyrocket if we can get that dev trade. But Najee Harris, top 3 leading rusher in the NFL, 1,500 yards, 17 touchdowns, averaged 92 a game. God damn. George Pickens, 74 catches, 1,300 yards, 11 tutties. Deontay Johnson, 1,100 yards, 7 tutties. 1,008 for Allen Robinson. Wow. Allen Robinson career revival here in Pittsburgh. And a decent year for Pat Fryer. I mean, good year. Hell, that's a good year for a tight end. 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. Did not use Darnell Washington a lot. Kind of fits what I was thinking, where it's, it's not a lot of 2 tight end sets. I think maybe in, in a funner world, we could find a way for Darnell Washington to get Allen Robinson's numbers. I don't know if we straight have to move in wide receiver, but we'll monitor. Defensively, Cole Holcomb and Nick Herbig kind of playing out of position there a little bit, both going over 100 tackles. We have 17.5 sacks, 22 TFLs for TJ Watt, which is amazing. 13.5 sacks for Cam Hayward, 9 for Highsmith, 7 and 15 TFLs for the rookie Keanu Benton, which are great numbers for a nose tackle. Levi Wallace, 5 picks, leading the team. Would have loved to see maybe like Joey Porter Jr. with those 5 picks, but you can't have everything. MVP goes to Joe Burrow. Right. In the AFC MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Josh Jacobs. TJ Watt does win Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations to you, sir. For the Rookies of the Year, Keanu Benton, runner-up. Ooh. He's on that normal dev. That would have been a nice free star dev trait, but it goes to Trenton Simpson. And then looking for the rest of these awards, probably TJ Watt at linebacker. And that is it. Runner-up for kicker. Nice. Well done, Boswell. But ultimately, we were 9-8. We kept Mike Tomlin's never going below 500 streak alive. But in an uber competitive AFC North, 9-8's not going to get it done. No playoffs year 1 for our Pittsburgh Steelers. Ooh, that's spicy, man. Usually you don't see the Ravens go on and win a Super Bowl in the sim, but they did here. And that adds a little bit more pressure that a team within our division in this rebuild freaking did it. We're going to be able to do it. Looking at our roster, we did get the dev trade on Kenny Pickett, which was a massive W, but no other dev traits to report on at this time outside of Walt Washington. Was a hidden dev, and he is a star. Same with Broderick Jones. Defensively, we have Keanu Benton going from normal to a star dev. Awesome. We have no dev trade on Joey Porter Jr., however. No dev trade on Holcomb or Herbig. No dev trade on Highsmith. And Minkah Fitzpatrick lost his superstar. But our biggest one that we had to get was Kenny Pickett. We got that done. Just barely. Surprised with all those interceptions. Thought it would affect us a little bit more. Got it, though. As we sim to the offseason, a bomb drops on the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Cam Hayward retires after 13 seasons. So we are now down, surprisingly, a X-Factor defensive lineman who's a legend. That is going to be very difficult to replace, and now instantly jumps up along with right tackle as our top 2 needs going in this draft, I think. So I want to be aggressive spenders here because some of the positions of needs are players that we haven't really utilized in a lot of rebuilds. So we're looking at Logan Wilson, trying to poach him away from the Cincinnati Bengals within the division, and he would come play middle linebackers, more of a traditional middle linebacker than Herbig. I'm doubling up on offensive linemen. I like Jonah Williams to come in and move into guard because I think we could probably update over Isaac Seumalo when all is said and done. Seumalo's 30 and he's below 70. As much as I think it's a great signing, Madden just really underrates him. And then that gives us the opportunity to put Jedrick Wills at right tackle. So we're going to really solve our offensive line here and poach within the division, man. So far, that's 2 Cincinnati Bengals, 1 Cleveland Brown, 2 Cleveland Browns, if you include Grant Delpit, superstar, strong safety. Never really had the opportunity to break out for the Cleveland Browns, so he's going to be able to hopefully do so here, be an upgrade over Keanu Neal. And then why not get J.J. Watt out of retirement? He was on the list of players. So I'd be foolish not to extend my offer, and we are able to land all of our top targets. And we're actually going to go back into, I want to grab a corner here, and I think the corner that I want is down here. I want C.J. Henderson, get a young developmental player, much like Grant Delpit, maybe thrive in a different scheme, a different system, a different team. I want to bring Henderson in, and I do think I want to at least throw an offer at Bryce Hall. He's interested, 3 years, 20 mil. Gives us some cover in case there's, not a great corner in this year's draft. And obviously, we have Terrell and Diggs, but those are star players that we have used recently in other rebuilds. And I don't want to get too boring with it. I always like to mix it up here just a little bit. So we did land Bryce Hall. Hopefully, we get C.J. Henderson, and then we're able to roll into the draft almost in a BPA position versus where we were before, like needing to replace Cam Hayward and needing to find a middle linebacker. So at pick 16 in the first round, knowing our needs, my top available player is still here, sitting at 16. Damar Ingram from Vandy, 6'6", 289. We got clearly J.J. Watts on a one-year deal. He's not going to be our long-term play. I think we have that here in Ingram. Double A's, A block shed, B power move, A tackle. Maybe not the flashiest of skill sets, but 39 reps on the bench press. Elite strength. Could have a little more zip, but I mean, he's going to be a 3-4 defensive end. We don't need, guys with 4.6 speed. I like the look of Ingram. Look at that strength. 84 acceleration, 92 strength at 6'6". What a monster. Second round, I would say, maybe wide receiver. Like getting a slot wide receiver could be a play. Not much there at that spot. Another corner room. We did not get Henderson. We only got Bryce Hall. And my top available player was Clyde Gore, A-double-B with the C, 6 feet tall, so he can play on the outside, and he was the fastest player at the combine. Even though he doesn't have, elite speed or anything like that, I'll take a guy with 4.28 every day of the week. Clyde Gore, BPA, falling into our laps. Welcome to Pittsburgh. Got another one. Fullbacks still matter, especially in Pittsburgh. This draft is absolutely incredible. Look what we got. We got a deep threat in Nelson Broughton. Now at 6'4", he's probably not going to be like a true deep threat, but B release, B catching, he could be a freaking tight end, and he runs a 4.4. Sure. So we had a mix of depth traits and non-depths, but I thought this draft class was going to be good, and it looks pretty solid, I guess, at the end of the day. We got a 72 hidden depth fullback. We got a 73 hidden depth linebacker that's going to kick inside to be depth behind Logan Wilson and Cole Holcomb. We got Gore, 76. He was a guy I was even considering in the first round. Fell to us into the second. We didn't have to trade up. 76 hidden depth corner to the outside. And then there we go. Damar Ingram, not going to see the field. So hopefully, we don't have any worries about losing depth trading like that. He's going to learn to be the understudy to J.J. Watt. And he's really going to be unleashed in 2 years' time. So we're here for year 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the offense, our offensive line is looking outstanding. We've thrown some money at it to try to fix it with the whole right-hand side now of Williams and Willis. We got Freiermuth and Washington, yada, yada, yada. X-Factor Harris, George Pickens, one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. I would say leaving point on the offense is, I don't know, man. I've used Kenny Pickett in a couple different videos, and he's never really gone off. He's never really gone up to an X-Factor. He's never really become a 90-plus quarterback. And, going into, I don't want to say you're running out of time, but he was an older prospect. He's 26. So really, you got 2 years left of if you're going to have quick growth, you're going to have it before you're 28. Got to do it, man. Got to do it. We need to see him pop off. We need to get that superstar dev this season. If not, it might be too late. But luckily, we got George Pickens, one of the best young wide receivers in the NFL. Najee Harris, X-Factor running back, and we probably have the best offensive line in the AFC. Defensively, Ingram's actually going to get this start over Ogunjobi. Gore is going to be our third corner. Everyone else ready to run it back. Logan Wilson really is going to help shore up the linebacking room. I'm hoping Delpit is solid for us. But obviously the story here is we get to not only do a post-2023 draft Pittsburgh Steelers and see how all those guys develop, but we get to finally see... There's rumors right now, and J.J. Watt in real life has come out to dispel those rumors. But, from a neutral standpoint, if you're not a Texans fan, from a neutral, probably pretty cool to see J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt play on the same defense for one another. So at least for one season, maybe more if he doesn't retire, but at least this year, we get to see what it would look like if J.J. and T.J. both played on the same defense here in Pittsburgh. All right, midway point of year 2. Now, the tricky thing is that this is actually year 3. We all know year 3 is random. But because I do offline franchise, I have to sim the first year. So, technically, year 2 is year 3 in terms of weirdness and results. That's why we're 2-5. We were 1-5 before we defeated the Broncos here in week 8. So, it's right on cue that year 3 is being a weird year. But just so I don't get confused, and you guys don't get confused from here on. This is only year 2 of our rebuild, but on the hood, it's that third random season. So... results are probably going to be scattered, to say the least. But we have $89 million. Plenty of money here to wheel and deal. Keep our roster together. Strengthen our roster. I'm just seeing a lot of veterans we can move on from. First up, Pat Freiermuth. Now, I guess if things got really ugly and he didn't want to come back, we do have Darnell Washington waiting in the wings. But, Freiermuth's almost a 90 overall. Kind of want to keep that in the building. Deontay Johnson is another interesting one. I think he's kind of like a polarizing player for Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You can see the talent there, but the consistency is a little bit of an issue. Let's see what he does. I think we're gonna wait and see because there's no interest. If he was even a yellow, I'd probably throw some money his way. But the fact that we're going to come with like a big offer here to get him to sign, he's 28. Like maybe we can get someone different, a different profile that maybe complements the George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth do a little bit better. We have James Daniels at center. Definitely want to keep him. Leave an overpay. I mean, this is a guy, I see his ceiling 90 plus center. Definitely don't want to let that leave the building. I mean, if he's not retiring, we'll see. We'll slap both Deontay Johnson and J.J. Watt with a we'll see come season's end. Something that's kind of cool. Joey Porter Jr., who we drafted as a normal dev here in U2, hits a dev trait scenario, goes up to a star dev, 20,000 XP. However, it was in a losing effort against the Colts in Week 10. We beat the Chiefs again. We have a dev trait scenario for our corner, Bryce Hall, who got a superstar dev off of a Chiefs victory, 31-23. So our secondary has gone from Bryce Hall, CB1 star dev, Joey Porter, CB2 normal dev, to Bryce Hall, CB1 superstar dev, Joey Porter, CB2 with that star dev. Awesome. I mean, Bryce Hall was a guy that, yeah, you know, we picked him and we had a couple other corner alternatives, but I mean, I thought he was amazing in college. Had some injury luck, fell to the Jets. I think he's doing pretty well for the Jets. So, you know, I think this guy still has his best football ahead of him. Glad that gamble panned out here for our Pittsburgh Steelers. So in year 2, which is really year 3, we get unexpected results, which is kind of on brand. But I do think the fact that we still, overall, number 6 offense, number 5 defense, we're trending in the right direction, even though we're kind of just taking on water a little bit with our record, 8-9, below 500. The streak ends for Mike Tomlin of going above 500 every year. It's year 3, man. Even Mike Tomlin can't defeat year 3. Look at the big picture, man. Najee Harris, 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns, second in the rushing leaders. Pretty cool. Take a look at the stats here. What do we got? Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's just not that guy, man. I don't know. Now, obviously, every rebuild needs to be unique, and I try, and we're going to continue to just focus on sticking with the playbook. I bet if we, not even say we had to go like Bucks offense playbook, but I mean, you probably could spice up the passing numbers here a little bit with the playbook and help out Kenny Pickett. It's probably some element of like Kenny Pickett never pops off because of the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. But I mean, you know what? We can win with that. I can win with 33 touchdowns, 4 picks. That's going to be Kenny Pickett's game anyways. He's not a guy with the cannon arms, got to throw all over the field. He's going to be a guy that's going to be, you know, kind of like Joe Burrow a little bit, where it's like, you know, enough arm talent, but it's like it's his decision-making and accuracy, which really, you know, puts him into that upper echelon. So we're trying to get there. Rushing, we got 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns. Najee Harris, ridiculous. 1,200 yards, 12 tutties for George Pickens. 12-7 for Deontay Johnson. 9-3 for Pat Freiermuth. Defensively, over 100 tackles for Wilson Holcomb and a rookie corner, Gore. I remember a couple Maddens ago, if you had a corner that went over 100 tackles, that was dev trade automatic every day of the week. TJ Watt, 13.5 sacks on 14 TFLs. JJ Watt, coming out of retirement, putting up 73 tackles, 24 TFLs, 10 sacks. I love it. 7.5 for Highsmith, 3 picks, Cole Holcomb. Obviously, now the one thing that kind of sucks, and we knew this was going to happen, we said it was going to be the understudy, but with JJ Watt playing that much, you know, wasn't a lot of room for DeMar Ingram to play a lot this year. He popped just with a star dev. I don't think he would have lost a dev trait right now. So he would have been a star dev anyways. But yeah. Okay. Honestly, we're leaving right now with J.J. Watt and Deontay Johnson both looking for I think both earned a new contract there. Look at the MVP. Kenny Pickett coming number 8 in the MVP race. Let's go. Kind of, you know, talking about a down year for him. That's pretty damn good, all things considered. Looking forward to Pittsburgh Steelers for the award winners here. Najee Harris, running back of the year, but he's already an X factor, so there's not really any room for growth there. TJ Watt, winning linebacker of the year again because he is an absolute machine and one of the best players in the NFL. But no playoffs for the Pittsburgh Steelers here, man. 8-9. Ooh, Decisions coming up for this offseason. Now, in closing, for our dev traits, offensively, no one went up or down, which, you know, the stats were never going to line up, but you'd figure a guy that makes the MVP shortlist might go up dev trait, but Kenny Pickett stays as is, and once that boost goes away, he's going to be an 80 overall star. We can work with that. We can continue to develop that. Defensively, the only dev trait up was J.J. Watt going from superstar up to an X Factor. So the two Watt brothers are up there. Grant Delpit lost his superstar. Logan Wilson lost his superstar, which, you know, you didn't make the playoffs. You got to expect some form of regression. Oh, it's all he wanted. He just won it 1 year with his brother. Of course, he goes up. He's played the best football he's played since Houston, and he retires, gets an X Factor, and he's gone. Oh, it's like a tease, man. Blue nuts over J.J. Watt trying to get the Watt brothers back for one more year. Thought it was there. It's not there. Wow, going through free just a nothing free agency period. No, like, unless we were just gonna pull the plug on Kenny Pickett and go after Trevor Lawrence, which it did cross my mind for a second there. We're gonna try to throw a bid on Deontay Johnson. Didn't like our last offer, and clearly the Dallas Cowboys really want a 29-year-old wide receiver. So we're gonna have to do some work here. We're gonna have to have a hell of a draft. Need a new wide receiver too. We need someone to replace J.J. Watt. We also need to find just ways to add more competition in other positions to be better. All right, so we are rolling into the draft with big position needs. We need a 3-4 defensive end and a wide receiver. Those are kind of the two spots. And one thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers do more consistently than pretty much any other team in the NFL is draft wide receivers. But first, looking on that front, got a couple guys that I definitely want to key in on here that I think would be great fits. I think Lonnie Session, got the 3 Bs and the C, would be a good scheme fit at 6'6", 301. And this guy here is an absolute powerhouse. 40 reps on the bench press. I'm very interested there. I also think though someone like J.C. Henry a little bit later, 6'1", 291, a little bit undersized, but would fit our front very well. He has A-double B. I think there might be some value for sure. For the rest of the defensive ends, yeah. Well, you know, Jimmy Brewer fits our scheme anyway. So does Kendrick Peak at 319. So does Trey Charles. So, like, we have some options here, but clearly the best player I have right now on my board is Quinn Fox. Deep threat, which is always what you want to look for. He has A, deep route running, B, release, B, catching, C, catching traffic. And a lot of times when you get the speedsters, they're like 5'8". He's 6'1". So he got some good length. He ran a 4.24. I would love to wait. He's a first, second round. He'd be a guy that, like, if he's still there in the second round, because there's a lot of other wide receivers ahead of him. You know, maybe we could trade up. Like, I figure if we just keep simming, what are the odds that he gets, like, picked over one of these other guys? You know, but I just feel like he's the best player. How many times have we? It's not super common, but when we are getting burned and this guy goes right before you can pick him, you know, kind of is what it is. So I think we're going to draft him now. And then we'll kind of watch the D tackle market and see if we can trade up. I've got a lot of trade offers for Cole Holcomb, our veteran linebacker. Maybe we could package him and a second round pick to move up a little bit and grab a D lineman. But look at Quinn Fox at a TCU, 94 acceleration, 99 speed, hidden at dev trait. You are, and look, straight up gets Deontay Johnson's jersey. You are going to be our new wide receiver too. So we were able to make a trade up, sending our second round pick and Cole Holcomb to the Rams for their second round pick and their fourth round pick this year. So it's kind of surplus requirement for us, able to move up and then just get the best player available on the defensive line. My 2 top targets went, but they're also the 2 top players that were available at that spot. So it's kind of expected they were going to go eventually. So we've been able now to trade up, and we have to make the right decision here. Who is going to be our successor? I don't know, man. I'm looking at J.C. Henry, just making sure. Do we have to trade up to get him? Maybe, maybe not, but just the athletic ability. I'm very, very interested. No, Dev, come on. Damn it. Did get some nice value here late. Nick Guyton, guess why I drafted him? He's 340 pounds. He rolls with a hidden Dev. So take a look at our draft recap. And Quinn Fox is 78 overall, hidden Dev. Stud. Needed that too, because the rest of my picks, I mean, good ratings, but normal devs, no dev trades. J.C. Henry, 74. Is that worth a trade up, getting a 74? I mean, he might be one of the better players in the class. I got Chad Collins here, a 73 corner. He's normal dev. Lucked out with Nick Guy. He was actually one of the last D tackles projected to get drafted. He was like a 6th, 7th round pick. 73 hidden dev with 94 strength. Very nice selection. We got a 71 running back there as well, but it's kind of a top-heavy class. Quinn Fox is the guy. Now, this is just more so for me because I wasn't really talking about the other prospects that I wanted in a lot of depth. But Jimmy Brewer was a guy that I thought, schematically made a sense here for a scheme fit. And anytime, we go a different direction and don't get what we're looking for, I always want to kind of see what we pass up there. So start at pass rusher, not the end of the world. I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over that one. But Lonnie Session was the other one that we're considering, and he is 76. Just be a start F. If you're a start F, I can live with it. If you're something else, it's going to be a little bit more painful. And he's only a start F. So at the end of the day, we went on the offensive side of the ball. We got one of the best players in the draft class at wide receiver. He's going to be a day one impact playmaker and hopefully helps out that 22nd ranked passing offense. I'm going to keep the suspense. I'm just going to say, when I was setting up my weekly training, I saw something. This will be cool to unveil at some point to you guys. But I don't know. I never know how to approach that because that's a bug. Made a post on Twitter the other day saying one of the things that needs to get fixed is the spoils the dev traits. You always have your rookies when you go set up your weekly strategy, right? When you have your 6 rookies out there or whatever, 3 rookies if you don't upgrade the package. And if it's an X factor, they spoil it. Now, I never know, for these rebuilds, if people like just because that's obviously an instant reaction. You get to instantly see and you get hyped over seeing that. But I don't know in a video if that's the fun way to unveil it or just kind of wait until when we actually get it unlocked naturally, organically, mid-season. I never really know how to approach that. Let me know what you guys prefer to see. If I do draft a juicy pick, do you like seeing it right off the get-go, right at the beginning of the year? Or do you like to see it, a midway point after they play X amount of stuff? I don't know. But fix that bug, Madden. Come on, it's been in the game for 3 years. Fix it! Oh shit, we straight up, all right, we used our coaching unveil a dev trait on Quinn Fox, who is a hidden dev turned into an X Factor. What a selection. Why does he have Wrecking Ball? This is really on trucks and stiff arms. Do you even have good truck and stiff arms? 42 stiff arms, 60. Your 2 shittiest stats are trucking and stiff arm. How does any... I thought your ability is supposed to be generated based off of your archetype. For a guy, he's speed. He's 99 speed. So if you have 99 speed, I assume the ability you should get would be... rack him up, right? Run after the catch. That makes sense to have Energizer. I don't know. I'm not going to complain. X Factor wide receiver. Already, I would think an upgrade over Deontay Johnson. So that was the right call. Calvin Austin, more speed, 96, 97 speed. All right, Kenny Pickett. Kind of setting you up like the Dolphins, like Tua. You don't need the cannon arm, which he doesn't. Anything is 87, 88 throw power. Just throw it up to these guys in space. Let them do the work for you. Defensively, here's where I think we're going to get a little creative. I'm going to take Keanu Benton, who I think it's I'm not going to say naive, but I think when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers depth chart in real life, I could see them using Keanu Benton as a defensive end. I know he's, you're going to kind of classify him as a nose tackle, but when you watch him play at Wisconsin, this is a guy that has some pass rush capabilities and has some pass rush upside. He's not a gigantic human being. So I think you could take him and move him to one of the defensive end spots. And for the sake of this rebuild, that makes sense because then that allows us to put Guyton, our 350-pound hidden dev nose tackle, get him on the field right away. So Benton, Ingram, and Guyton make up our new improved front 3. We got a Monroe, our linebacker that we drafted last year, the hidden dev. He gets to get a promotion. He's now our new starting middle linebacker after we traded Cole Holcomb. We're ready to go, man. This team looks pretty damn good. We're here for year 3. It's not an actual year 3, so I'm hoping that our rating actually plays into our record here a little bit. We make the playoffs. And midway point of year 3, we're 5-2, sitting atop the AFC North right now. The number 8 offense, number 8 defense. So consistent on both sides of the football. Looking at some contracts, $94 million available, and we're going to throw around most of that. We're going to get TJ Watt locked in for the main of this rebuild. We're going to get Najee Harris, who's been the belle of the ball so far on the offensive side of the ball. He's been incredible. Top 3 in the league type numbers for him. So we'll get him locked in. We have George Pickens, one of my favorite players in the NFL. Absolutely not letting him, like, if honestly, if I end up somehow, some way picking the Pittsburgh Steelers in my Madden 24 team, know that I did it just because George Pickens is on them. Like, that's the deciding factor there. Everyone else, you know, just kind of role players at this point. We'll keep our money and roll it over into the offseason where we might be able to make a big splash if the right player is available. And then year 3, we get our first AFC North title, 11-6. All it took was Mike Tomlin going 1 year below 500 for him to rally the troops and get them playing at a level. We have almost a top 10 offense, top 5 defense, number 1 rushing defense. That's Pittsburgh Steeler football right there, ladies and gentlemen. Taking a look at the stats and awards. Kenny Pickett played pretty well, like a top 10 quarterback, 4,800 yards, 37 tutties. 14-16 for Najee Harris, 1,500 yards, almost 1,600 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Quinn Fox hits the ground running, 1,400 yards, 10 tutties, and over 100 receptions for George Pickens. Just incredible numbers for both of them. And honestly, Pickens might have a shot here. Go up to X Factor on those numbers. Catches, the combo of all of them, I'm going to say probably like 70-30 he actually gets that depth. So there's a good shot. We have 2 X Factors going into year 4 of this rebuild. Logan Wilson and Christian Monroe, both over 100 tackles. TJ Watt, 22 TFLs, 16.5 sacks, excellent. 12.5 sacks, Highsmith, excellent. 14 TFLs, 9.5 sacks for Ingram. Big. It was a big year for him. He didn't get to play a lot last year behind JJ Watt, and that's excellent. That's first rounder every day of the week. Keanu Benton, also solid season, moving from D-tackle out to defensive end. 6.5 sacks for him, 3 picks. Logan Wilson definitely haven't got the interception numbers from the secondary that I'd like to see, especially on like Minkah Fitzpatrick, who has a reputation of being a ball hawk. Would love to see him get a little bit more production back there, but is what it is. MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. We have in the AFC looking for some Pittsburgh Steelers. Runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year is TJ Watt. Offensive Rookie there goes to Quinn Fox. He's already an X Factor, so spoiler, can't really gain much there. Yeah. That's about it. I'd say right now, just kind of looking at those numbers, I guess Pickens going to X Factor is the only expectation that I would like to hope for. Outside of going on a run here, the wildcard round, taking on a bitter divisional rival, the Cincinnati Bengals. First playoff game, and we handle him. 35-24, Kenny Pickett. Pressure wasn't too much for him. Puts up 35, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception as he outduels Joe Burrow. 95 and a tutty there. George Pickens goes for 13, 150 and 1. Him and Fox are an elite duo here. Year 1, if you play like that the next 2 years of this rebuild, we are going to win a Super Bowl. 2.5 sacks for TJ Watt, 1.5 for DeMar Ingram. Might not happen this year, but I don't want to dampen any expectations. Why not? Why couldn't it happen this year? We got the Colts in the second round. They're 12-5, 87 overall. Good team. We're a 90 overall. We got to be winning these ones. We gave up 21 in the 4th. It was close until it wasn't. Daniel Jones. There's no way. Daniel Jones and what? We had like a fucking trick play going on here? Chiefs won the Super Bowl, but we did get the dev traits. So we now are going to be going into years 4 and 5 with our max 3 X factors on the offense, 3 skill position players. Let's go. Pickens, Fox, Najee Harris. Offensive line's outstanding. Defensively, in terms of dev traits, Logan Wilson got a superstar back. Highsmith is up to a superstar. I'll take it, man. Everyone's kind of going in the right direction here. Guyton, our hidden dev nose tackle, come out as a star dev. I mean, we're going to roll in free agency. Like, if we upgrade, it's just going to be upgrading a position. Like, we don't really have any holes right now. Third wide receiver, maybe, like a slot. Even then, we're not going to overpay for that. So I mean, you know, let's see what the market holds. And this is a good one because we don't need there to be somebody. If there is, maybe we'll explore it. If not, our team's set. All right, so we're just going to throw a competitive off here for Tariq Woolen. I guess you can make the argument that what we're missing is we haven't got a lot of interceptions, and Tariq Woolen is a proven ball hawk, but, we have a decent corner room right now, so it's like kind of, we're not going to overpay. We'll throw a competitive offer. He wants to come here. So be it. If not, it's not the end of the world. We just shift all of our focus towards the draft. And Tariq Woolen's getting a lot of competitive offers, and he ends up not, I see, like, I wasn't going to go get Terry McLaurin for my wide receiver 3. And gross! Dallas! Okay, for our draft pick. I mean, we need a wide receiver. We've drafted pretty well at wide receiver. We need, I mean, hey, damn, AA tight end. We don't need a tight end, though. You know, we're in a good spot. We're really, we're BPA, but we do need a third wide receiver pretty bad. And it's not the best role. I mean, we do got 2 deep threats here. We'll take a look at those stats. Let's just peruse. Let's just, you know, peek through here, see if there's anyone else that could very well fit the BPA and like have a chance. Ooh, 3 A's there. Kenny Young. We might be back. We might be back at some point. Defensive line. Oscar Cooper, double A's and a B. Doesn't look like a particularly strong. I mean, we are picking at 28, so like most of the, it's a top heavy. Not to say that it was a bad draft class, but at least it was a top heavy draft class. Ooh, Austin Stockton, linebacker here, 6'3", 245, B block shed, A zone coverage, elite speed, sir. And now it's just, I want that guy. I don't even know if we need linebacker. Look at this one here too, David Berry, Tennessee, a little bit smaller, 5'11", A zone coverage, B, got elite agility, elite change. All right, there's a couple linebackers here looking pretty nice. And a couple corners, double B on Myers. Guy looks good. Taylor Flowers. Interesting decision. But we'll go wide receiver and then kind of see what else. Really would like that linebacker now at the end of the dub. Let's see what we got. We got Robert Bibbs, 6'5", 223. Probably not overly fast at that height. But holy shit, 4'3". I need a slot. I don't need, like, that guy there's not really going to be a slot guy. Desmond Harris could potentially be. We got D catch of traffic, which kind of butt cheeks, but B catching, B release is a top fit, 425. Yeah, we'll just go with this guy. We'll just go with this one. Thank you. All right, so to the second round. I hope that linebacker's still there. That's who I really, really want. I'm not gonna lie, I already forget his name, to be honest with you. He's right there. He's the top available linebacker. Let's go. Austin Stockton. Please be hidden dev. Yes, sir. Welcome to Pittsburgh. So I basically sold the rest of the draft, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round pick to move up to the top of the 3rd round so we can grab that guard that had the AAA. Combine wasn't the best on that guard. I just double checked, but anytime you get a AAA and you're still here in day 3, why not? You're not going to be better than any of the other picks that we're going to get. Kenny Young, Florida State. Combine, not the best. Not the worst, but not the best. You definitely are a little bit worried about that 29 reps. But AAA, man, I'm making that pick. Hey, look at our draft recap. I'm not giving up any of my depth. No, thank you. We got 3 players. Our top 3 should be good. Those are the 3 guys we kind of sold out for, and yes, they are. We pretty much gave it the rest of the draft. Kenny Young, 73, hidden dev guard. Stockton, 72. Maybe a little bit lower rating than I would have expected, but then again, it was the athleticism that kind of like made him the deciding factor that we really wanted to go grab him. So, yep, usually when you get that, they're not as technically refined. That's why you get the little bit lower rating. But Desmond Harris comes in as our starting slot wide receiver. He's a deep threat, you know, kind of fitting a round peg into a square hole, but we're going to smash that fucker in there to make sure it fits. And one hell of an athlete. I think from a slot standpoint, I'm going to look more so, like not that, you know, you want to see probably a little bit better short route running, catching traffic could be better, but that 96 agility, it's going to be really dangerous. That change of direction in space, see him do it. I'm playing this one. It's been a minute since something like that, but like I want to give Kenny Pickett a chance, and he's just not. You can't just rely on what we've seen with the playbook. I don't know with this playbook if Kenny Pickett's ever going to have the stats at the end of a season to go up dev trait. So I'm going to hop in. I'm going to try to get this. 350 yards, 4 total touchdowns with Kenny Pickett. Get him up to superstar. I'm interjecting myself to add a little bit of spice to this rebuild. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do to the Miami Dolphins. Oh, Get in there, Fox. There we go. Touchdown number 1. 3 more to go. Come on, Fox. Top, catch it. Hey, here we go. Number 2. Averaging about 1 touchdown a quarter. It's a good pace, but you need 4. 1st and 10. Come on. The damn ball. Fuck. I'm out. Didn't see anything there. Don't want to throw a pick at this point. Suicide pass to George Pickens. Right on. 3rd and 17, let's go with the reliable slant. We got a couple 99 speed wide receivers here. The O-line can hold up, which it does. Get it off. Fox. I mean, that could have been a touchdown to Fox or Pickens. That is our 3rd. We need 1 more in the second half with no touchdowns to get Kenny Pickett up to a superstar. George Pickens, close your eyes. Just throw it to him. And it wasn't that easy, but it was also kind of easy. No picks, and we're across the line here. And we got the job done, man. Both quarterbacks, very high completion percentage, but Kenny Pickett, 4 touchdowns, no picks. We are looking at a Goldie boy here under center. And for me, I think the thing for Kenny Pickett is that while he's never really had the gaudy numbers to like get that dev trait at the end of the season, I also think he's played well enough that like he won't lose his dev traits. So I'm not worried about losing this superstar. Get that for a little bit of development this year, development last year, to just see how good we can make Kenny Pickett, how quickly we can reach his ceiling. And we might as well just take it right here. We're at mid-season. Let's look at some contracts. So Minkah Fitzpatrick here. Well, he's been a little bit underwhelming in terms of stats and production. You know, we let him walk. He's going to be the best available player. Bryce Hall has been solid in our secondary. We'll get him on a 2-year deal. Joey Porter Jr. For him. 6-year. Get him locked in. And, of course, as soon as we get a superstar dev for Kenny Pickett, it's time to pay him. And he wants more money. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I kind of think like Dotson, replaceable. We drafted a new guard. Washington's just a backup tight end. Benton is an interesting one. I think because he's so interested in staying here, we'll just offer him that layup of a contract. But we definitely need to extend Kenny Pickett. If he turned down 70, pretty much 71, we probably can get him for like 74, 75. And then here for our best season yet. 13-4, top of the AFC North. Number 7 offense, number 1 defense. Passing offense, still kind of butt cheeks. Don't matter. Got the superstar dev for Kenny Pickett. We got, oh, that's actually, ooh. I don't think we're going to lose it. But that's probably right on the bubble of potentially doing so. Najee Harris was incredible. 1,700 yards, 23 touchdowns. We had 13 and 10 Pickens, 1,005 for Quinn Fox. 2 big-time playmakers at wide receiver. Harris, the rookie, was solid, as was Freiermuth. Defensively, Wilson and Monroe over 100 tackles. 16.5 sacks, TJ Watt. 16.5 Highsmith. 10 from Damari Ingram. 8 from Keanu Benton. 5 picks. Joey Porter Jr. Let's go! That's what we've been waiting for. Some big-time numbers from someone in that secondary. Lame. Looking for some Steelers. Najee, running back of the year. Congratulations to him. Joey Porter Jr. was runner-up for DB of the year. I mean, I think we could be cautiously optimistic. We might get a little dev trait there for Joey Porter Jr. rolling in the 5th and final year of this rebuild. But our playoff journey starts once again against the Bengals. We knocked them off last time. That is our first playoff victory as a team. And it's again, we own the Bengals, 45-29. Now, it's not fun who we're playing here in the championship. That's going to be a tough-ass game, but we shit-pumped them. 350 yards for Kenny Pickett. He had a rushing touchdown as well. Harris and Fox both going over 100. Defensively, maybe wasn't a dominant performance, but Joey Porter Jr. gets that 6th interception of the year. And we're going to bring all that momentum into the AFC Championship game, which is, hey, you know what? You earn it. If you can beat Kansas City and make the playoffs and go on and go to the Super Bowl, you earn that Super Bowl bid. And we do low scoring, the number 1 defense. Holy shit. Plays like a number 1 defense, holding the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, to only 10 points. Neither offense played particularly well. I mean, Najee got his 100 yards, but look at that defense. 4.5 sacks, TJ Watt. 2 sacks from Highsmith. Sharper, I don't know who that is. Literally only existed for 1 interception in that game. But the Pittsburgh Steelers in year 4, in a historic matchup, battle of 2 iconic franchises. It is the Steelers, it is the Bears. Super Bowl coming up. Year 4 Super Bowl is always one of my favorites because it gives you 2 swings at it, because you assume that your team's good enough to get back to another Super Bowl if things don't go your way. You have that insurance of 1 extra year. But if you do win it, you get that also insurance of like, well, the rebuild's not going to be a failure because you already have your Super Bowl on the books. Opening drive, Bears get their touchdown. We are trying to equalize here. Come on, Kenny Pickett. Kenny, 2 gloves, ties it up at 7, but definitely looking like a low-scoring matchup. And if it's a low-scoring matchup, I like our defense against any other defense in the NFL. 14-14, it feels like it's a little Simon Says. Anything they do, we do, which is my least favorite type of sim, but it knows it's got a really, really close game. 21, we get the touchdown. They settle for a field goal. We also settle for a field goal, up 7. Chicago goes down the field, ties it up, and there was a turnover. Dude, they get a touchdown and a turnover, only get 3. That is our defense bailing us out. It's tied up at 27. I might have to come in. I'm not going to say that I'm going to score this touchdown, but let's just see right before the 2-minute warning, can I get a nice shot play off here to one of our 99 speed wide receivers? We got 2 of them. Harris and Fox, both 99 speed. Pickett's in the slot. Let me at least just get this drive started off for them. B's looking pretty good. On the sideline, Fox catches it, and we're at about midfield. We need a touchdown or bust here. I'm going to let the computer do it. It's going to be on them. We'll go next play. Let's watch it happen here. First play, 4 yards to Harris. Second play, 8 yards to Harris. We're using the rookie, or sophomore. 6-yard run, Kenny Pickett doing it himself. Clock chewing down. That's not the worst thing. You don't want to give them too much time. It is going to be a 4th and 7. Super Bowl on the line. And he run the fucking ball? What? Super Bowl on the line, and it's a 3-yard loss of a rush on 4th down. Thanks, hate it. Thanks. I mean, it's almost peace of mind just doing the quick sim so you don't actually see how the sausage is made when your sim's fucking garbage. Holy shit, what was that? So for our final free agency period, we're going to go in here. I got something that's just a little bit interesting. Aaron Donald, I mean, went to school at Pitt. Could he reunite here in Pittsburgh? I would like to see if we get a nice little splash play on that defensive line. And we also are down a left guard. We don't have a starting left guard right now, so Landon Dickerson is the best available. So we're coming in with a big-time bid to try to get the 91-star Dev offensive lineman, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles. And we get both all gearing up for a Year 5 Super Bowl run. So in the first round, the only spot that we weren't able to improve in free agency was the corner spot. So I kind of just feel like it's the final draft. If we can strike gold on one. And it looks like it's honestly the top 2 corners are the top 2 guys. We have BJ Wagner out of ECU, 3 Bs and a C. Combine's not the best, but not brutal. You know, he's right in the top 5, everything. Or we have Javier Connor from Indiana, 3 Bs and a D. But a little bit faster. You know what? We'll go with the top guy here. I don't really think we're going to have a slam dunk for our 5th and final draft pick. Yeah, carrying on. We got Aaron Donald. That's what we're hyping up. And honestly, not too bad in terms of like value. A 75 corner and a 76 safety in the 1st and 2nd rounds. Those are 2 really nice players to bring in as a Super Bowl runner-up. But again, you know, are these guys going to see the field? Probably not. So here it is, our final Pittsburgh Steelers team, which is definitely, in my opinion, more than talented enough to go on and win a Super Bowl here in Year 5. Starting the offensive line, Broderick Jones. He'll hit a 90 overall at some point during this year. What a pick in the 1st round. We signed Landon Dickerson, moved James Daniels in a center where he played in college, and that was a great move. But, you know, 3, it's rare. Usually we can develop our offensive linemen, but we have gone out and signed 3 of our 5 starters, and I have no shame about that. I have no shame about that whatsoever. Jonah Williams, Jedrick Wills, and Landon Dickerson help complete the unit here. We got Fryermuth, who's a 94. We got Kenny Pickett, who's up to an 83 superstar. I feel like we've done probably 2 or 3 videos with Kenny Pickett. Now, this might be the best spot he's ever been at. I don't know if I've ever got him into a superstar dev, so that's exactly what we have, and hopefully, you know, he keeps playing at a decently high level. Najee Harris has been incredibly consistent throughout this rebuild as a 99 X Factor. Speaking of 99 X Factors, I think it's only a matter of time until George Pickens becomes a 99 X Factor here this season. Probably my favorite player on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now, and he has been absolutely incredible. Been copy and paste, giving us 100 catches, 1,200 yards, and then, he just drafted another X Factor out the box. Quinn Fox out of TCU. Usually TCU wide receivers are god-awful trash pieces of shit named Jalen Reagor, but sometimes you get really, really good ones. You get a guy that's supposed to be everything Jalen Reagor was hyped up to be, and that is what Quinn Fox has been able to do, and they're just a dynamic duo, Pickens and Fox. On the defensive side, we went out and just splurged a little bit of money on Aaron Donald, because why not? We moved Keanu Benton back into defensive tackle. We have Ingram there at that other spot. TJ Watt, Logan Wilson, Monroe, and Highsmith make up our linebacking core with Grant Delpit and Minkah Fitzpatrick at safety. Joey Porter Jr., 89 superstar. We have Bryce Hall, who's kind of flex back between superstar and star depth throughout this rebuild. He's been a great signing for us. And then we got Gore there, 83, rounding up the room. So there's no real weakness to this team. It's all down to this, man. Year 5, Super Bowl or bust. You either get it or you don't. We lost Super Bowl last year. Let's get back there and make it right. We finished out year 5. We're pretty damn good, man. 96 offense, 94 defense, 94 base overall. Is one of the stronger teams in recent memory that we've been able to build. Number 4 offense, number 6 defense. Coming over a week 18 victory. We got player of the week. Who got it? Well, he was a mercenary. Hired mercenary, Aaron Donald. Did Aaron Donald-like things. Back in Pittsburgh, finishing out his career. Najee Harris was the number 1 running back in the NFL. Stood above the rest. Alex Highsmith had the most sacks with 20. Joey Porter Jr. had the 3rd most picks with 5. Let's go. Everyone is peaking at the right time. Kenny Pickett plays his best season by far. 4,400 yards, 43 touchdowns to 7 picks. I mean, we're going to look back at everyone's career here to kind of wrap this video up. But easily his best season for us. Let's go. 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, Najee Harris, who's been incredible in this rebuild. 113 catches, 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns for George Pickens. Pat Fryer with 950 and 11. Fox with a little bit of a down year, but it was just so heavy towards George Pickens. I'm not going to fault him too much because that's just absurd numbers. Defensively, Logan Wilson and Monroe both going over 100 tackles. 20.5 sacks for Highsmith, 16 for TJ Watt, 13.5 for Aaron Donald. That's really all you need right there, ladies and gentlemen. Joey Porter Jr. led the team with 5 interceptions, which is 3rd in the NFL. Yearly awards MVP goes to Patrick Mahomes. Kenny Pickett coming in at number 6. In the AFC, looking for some Pittsburgh Steelers. Wow, a couple runner-ups. No actual award winners? That's not going to light a fire under my team's ass. I don't know what is. So at least we're able to kick our feet up here in the first round, await our opponent in the divisional round, which is going to be the 9-8 Houston Texans, who, you know, they're not bad. You know, a top 10 team, 13th offense, 12th ranked defense, but this needs to be a one-sided ass kicking. We're a 94 overall team. We need to walk back to the Super Bowl. But it's still, you know, we didn't roll the Chiefs in the first round. That's a win. As long as you can avoid the Chiefs and the Bucks in a Super Bowl. Well, time to pay the piper here. George Pickett's dominant. 7 catches, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, winning an award here. We're going to hop in just in case it's the last game. Actually, let's look at the stats. Let's go take a look at our stats because there's a good shot, especially with Mahomes getting 50 passing touchdowns this year to only 8 picks. This could be a rough game. So let's kind of recap what we've been able to accomplish here during this 5-year span with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett sitting on almost 27,000 yards passing, 216 touchdowns to 63 picks. Pretty good. Najee Harris, 10,000 yards rushing, 111 rushing touchdowns. He's probably been, I don't know, it's between him and obviously Pickens for the MVP of this rebuild. George Pickens, through 6 seasons, 550 receptions, 8,300 yards, 65 touchdowns. For 54 and 49 for Pat Frymouth. Fox, 3,523. Defensively, I mean, we can't really lay claim to most of these guys, like, they did it outside the building. But, I mean, you know, Watt and Highsmith up there for total tackles. Aaron Donald's finishing his career, give or take, 174. 136 sacks for TJ Watt. 72.5 for Alex Highsmith. And on the interception front, 20 and 20 there. Joey Porter Jr., 13, which is honestly pretty good interception numbers when all is said and done. But here we go. Trying to get back to the Super Bowl. The team that stands in our way in the AFC Championship game is a 12-5, 90 overall Kansas City Chiefs. We're better. Let's go execute. We'll be back in the Super Bowl. Acrisure Stadium. It's Heinz Field. Does anyone even call that? If you're like you're someone that like a Steeler fan, you live in Pittsburgh, do you guys just still call it Heinz Stadium? Like we have like an arena here, and we just call it the name that it was forever, not the new rebranded name. I don't know, but we're hanging in there, man. We tie it up. We actually get the go ahead, 10-7. But there's just not a lot of holding the Chiefs to field goals. They kind of just get touchdowns, and when they score touchdowns, they score them in bunches. So we're gonna come in here on 3rd and inches because we need a touchdown here. We need to be down 4 to have any confidence in the 4th quarter. Now, if we F this up, I'm probably going to go for it in 4th down. But we got George Pickens there in the slot. That's where we want to go with this. Makes a tough catch. Honestly, wasn't our best throw. Though we made it. And we should be able to let Najee Harris punch this one in, which he does. We're down 3. Touchdown. Go ahead, Steelers. Let's go. They went for the 4th down. They missed it. It is 3rd down and alert. I'm not even going to come in and score touchdowns. I'm going to try and just get this 1st down to keep this drive going. Because we already know what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Here's my prediction at this point. I'm going to make this 1st down. We're going to chew up a little more clock, but we're going to settle for a field goal, and then the Chiefs are going to get a touchdown, and we're going to go to overtime and lose. That's my prediction, but we go to Frymouth here. Enough to move the chains. One thing that the sim doesn't do is chew the clock. I mean, it does if you're on, like, if you're up 30, and it'll kind of kill out the late part of the game. But for the most part, that's my prediction. We get a field goal, Chiefs get a last-second touchdown, and we go to overtime and lose. Oh, we get the touchdown! Everything. We got the touchdown. The Chiefs obviously went out and got their touchdown, but I thought it was going to be a field goal. Our team, Kenny Pickett and company, said, we're going to score this tutty in a game that Kenny Pickett definitely didn't play his best football, 52% completion percentage, but we're able to rely a little bit on Najee Harris, 128 yards on the ground, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are going back to the Super Bowl here in year 5. And in the Super Bowl, wasn't this a Super Bowl that happened? Am I tripping? I feel like this happened before. But we're taking on the 13-4 Seattle Seahawks. 89 overall with the 3rd overall offense. 11th overall defense. Doesn't matter. They're still not as good as it. We are the best team in the NFL. Let's prove it here and get our Super Bowl in year 5. Who is that? 13. That's some sort of generated quarterback. They live like CJ Stroud or something. There's that dude. There's that dude. What a stud George Pickens is. Najee Harris has also been incredible. This is a good team. This is a team that, like, I'd be very upset, actually, if we don't win the Super Bowl here, because we're almost a 95 overall, and we're